Hello, YouTube. The next citation of Old Testament prophecy happens directly after the last one. This is in Matthew chapter 2, verses 16 through 18. When Herod saw that he had been tricked by the wise men, he was infuriated, and he sent and killed all the children in and around Bethlehem who were 2 years old or under, according to the time that he had learned from the wise men. Then was fulfilled what had been spoken through the prophet Jeremiah. A voice was heard in Ramah, wailing and loud lamentation, Rachel weeping for her children. She refused to be consoled because they are no more. Now, he's quoting from Jeremiah 31:15. For some context, I'm going to read verses 15 through 20. Thus says the Lord, a voice is heard in Ramah, lamentation and bitter weeping. Rachel is weeping for her children. She refuses to be comforted for her children, because they are no more. Thus says the Lord, keep your voice from weeping and your eyes from tears. For there is a reward for your work, says the Lord. They shall come back from the land of the enemy. There is hope for your future, says the Lord. Your children shall come back to their own country. Indeed, I heard Ephraim pleading, you disciplined me, and I took the discipline. I was like a calf untrained. Bring me back, let me come back, for you are the Lord my God. For after I had turned away, I repented, and after I was discovered, I struck my thigh. I was ashamed and I was dismayed, because I bore the disgrace of my youth. Is Ephraim my dear son? Is he the child I delight in? As often as I speak against him, I still remember him. Therefore I am deeply moved for him. I will surely have mercy on him, says the Lord. So, what Matthew takes from that, Rachel weeping for her children, means literally children, where in verse 17 it says, your children shall come back to their own country. So this is referring metaphorically to the children of Israel who have been exiled. It's not referring to actual children. And I find it a little interesting that not only do we have Jesus, Mary, and Joseph going to Egypt, but we have Herod behaving in a manner pretty similar to the Pharaoh of Egypt, described in Exodus chapter 1, verses 15 through 22. The king of Egypt said to the Hebrew midwives, one of whom was named Shiphrah and the other Puah, when you act as midwives to the Hebrew women and see them on the birth stool, if it is a boy, kill him. But if it is a girl, she shall live. But the midwives feared God. They did not do as the king of Egypt commanded them, but they let the boys live. So the king of Egypt summoned the midwives and said to them, why have you done this and allowed the boys to live? The midwives said to Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian women, for they are vigorous and give birth before the midwife comes to them. So God dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and became very strong. And because the midwives feared God, he gave them families. Then Pharaoh commanded all his people, every boy that is born to the Hebrews ye shall throw into the Nile, but ye shall let every girl live. Now, the paranoia exhibited by Pharaoh is pretty similar to the paranoia exhibited by Herod. Coincidence?